everybody. It's Chrissy's, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. This week I went to see Wish, the new Disney film, and it was fine, I guess. I wasn't mad at it. The best thing about it is the visuals, because we are clearly never ever going to get another hand-drawn, cel animated movie out of Disney. The best we can get is if they do this and they make the CGI look a little painterly, you know? So I appreciated the visual style of the film. And a couple of the songs are pretty good. But this is supposed to be like, it's supposed to be like this movie that celebrates 100 years of Disney animated creations. And it's too generic for that. Like, it's not good enough to be what I think they meant it to be, you know? It's its own story, but it's very generic and whatever. And it's full of, like, Easter egg references to other Disney properties. And they were okay when they're, like, subtle visual cues and stuff. You know, like, oh, I recognize that dress or whatever, you know? But there's like this one scene where Chris Pine's villain, Magnifico, is like ranting and doing his villain rant. And he drops like multiple references with these really bad puns. And I'm just like wincing. And I'm like, okay, now you're trying too hard, Disney. So it's fine. I didn't feel like angry that I wasted my time watching it. I wasn't bored. But it's just aggressively fine. It's very generic. And it's sad because in the end credits, as the credits are going by, they take you through the timeline of Disney creations. So it's like, you know, here's Snow White and Pinocchio and Bambi and Maleficent, and it takes you through the whole timeline. And so you have all these characters, and then suddenly there's a bunch of characters you're like, wait, who's that? Wait, is that the Rescuers? Wait, okay, right, okay. And then it's Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin and Lion King and Hunchback and whatever. And then you're like, wait, who's that? Wait, what? Who is this character? Like, what is that? Because we are once again in another section of Disney films where they are just not as iconic as the other ones. It's like iconic, not so iconic, come back with more iconic characters, and now we're in another lull. So it's just a bit sad. And like Mirabelle from Encanto went by. I'm like, oh, okay, I know who she is. Because that movie just happened, and also she's in Disney Dreamlight Valley, which, by the way, I am very surprised that, speaking of Disney Dreamlight Valley, segueing into the game section, I am surprised that Asha from Wish didn't just suddenly show up wandering around Disney Dreamlight Valley being like, hey, I have a new movie coming out, you know, because it totally feels like something that Disney would do. Like, even if it's not that obvious and it's just something like, there's like a Wish t-shirt that's on sale in Scrooge McDuck's store, or they just mail it to you as a special present, so it's free and then everyone gets one. That would probably be the better way to go. But I honestly was surprised that Disney Dreamlight Valley wasn't pushing the new Disney film. Because I was honestly prepared for that. But they didn't, so slight props to them. I am doing better with Disney Dreamlight Valley and parceling out my time. I'm trying to do it like Animal Crossing, where I log in, I check the store to see what's new, I look around to see if I can find the blue chest and get my moonstones, free moonstones, and then like I'll see what easy Dreamlight there is to earn from the menu, and I'll talk to a few of the Disney friends, and I'll do like 1 or 2 quests. That's it, depending. Some of the quests are like super simple, and I can do like 2 of them, but some of them are like get really involved, and it's like multiple steps, and there's like searching and foraging and then cooking and then delivering, and it's like, okay, like that's just the one. Then I'm done. And I'm trying to, I have a lot of characters, and there's a lot of stuff that I haven't unlocked with them yet. I'm still leveling up my friendships with them, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to like add more characters from the castle to my valley. I feel like I should be unlocking the biomes first, because there's actually this one quest that I haven't been able to do because I don't have the cooking ingredients, because I need to open up a biome to get at them. The problem is that the biomes now, there's like 2 left, and they're like crazy expensive, and they're going to use up all the Dreamlight, basically all the Dreamlight I have left, and then it'll be a while before I can earn enough to unlock the other one. So that's going to slow everything down for a while. But I think I should go with the areas over characters. That's just me. That's what I was thinking. But it is still fun, and I am still playing it, and I am still enjoying it. There's always something to do. And it's still very cute. But I have been trying to parcel out my time so that I can continue playing Spider-Man. Because as you might recall from the last episode, I said I probably won't have finished Spider-Man for this episode, but I'll be like right up against the ending. Well, I was. Last week I was doing a lot of cleanup, and I was doing all the side missions that I could to clean up the map, and I got to the point where there was nothing left to do, so I did some story missions, and then that unlocked the final side missions in the last few areas, which were just more symbiote nests. So I cleaned those up, and on the last one I got the trophy for cleaning up all the nests, and I got the trophy for 100%ing all of the different neighborhoods in New York City, Manhattan, and Brooklyn and Queens. So I did that, and at that point there's literally nothing left to do except the main story mission. So I was like, okay, let's go do the main story missions. And that's when I went to the next story mission area, and it was like, if you open this door, this is the point of no return. Make sure that you've gone, and this is your last chance to like level up and upgrade your abilities and your gear and everything. And I'm like, dude, I maxed out my level. I have all the abilities. I have extra skill points I never even used because I have nothing else to buy with them. And I upgraded all of my gear. I'm done. There's nothing more to do. I'll just do the final battle then. So I went to do the final battle, and it's in multiple parts, obviously. It starts with a Mary Jane section. And then it's Peter versus Venom, which was crazy hard, and I kept dying, and he kept defeating me. And then it was time for dinner, and I was like, crap. And I was like, all right, fine. And I was going to do my podcast and just talk about whatever. But then I was like, no. And this morning, I decided I was going to play through the end. And thankfully, I'm glad I waited till the next day, because like, you had to finish the Peter section, and then there was the Miles section, and then all this stupid crap keeps happening to like drag it out and drag it out and drag it out and drag it out. And they just drag this ending out, and it started to drag it out a little too much, and I was just like, oh my god, seriously? Would someone take care of that so that Venom can't keep stopping the attempt to defeat him? I'm trying to be deliberately vague, because this is literally the end of the game that I'm trying not to spoil here. And finally, it was over. And I finished the game, and then there were credits, and I was like, thank you. And then there's 2 credits tags. The mid-credit tag sets up the villains for the next game, I think, or at least a couple of them. And then the final end credit tag, I was completely befuddled, and I had to go and Google and be like, hey, what was that? Who is this person? And it seems to be it's a character from the comics, but it's the recent Spidey comics, so I don't know them. I only know classic Spidey stuff. I am old school. I am old and old school. So it's a character from a recent run of comics, and I'm assuming that they're setting them up to be in the 3rd game as well, as a playable character maybe. But then it drops you back in the game, and that was the point where I was like, okay, now I can finish that one thing, because one of the things I wasn't able to 100% was I had all the ability, all the gear, all the everything. There was one costume missing. And I'm like, it says, finish all the EMF missions in order to get this costume. And I'm like, I did. I have 100%ed all of the side quests. Like, what the hell? And my friend, I tweeted about this thinking it was a bug in the game. Because for an open world game, I was surprised there were not as many bugs as I was expecting to encounter. There was one really cool bug, actually. Like, there was nothing game breaking. There was one where like I was trying to clear out a nest, and suddenly the screen went black, and it was like at the beginning, and I had to start over, and that was annoying because I was doing pretty well that time. And then there was one where it was like this night mission where you're trying to infiltrate the villain's lair, except for whatever reason, I was in the black costume at the time, but for whatever reason, like it got reversed and I was like glowing white, and it didn't affect like, you know, the game where like I could still play through the game and everything was fine. And in cutscenes it was black, but in gameplay I was glowing white. And I'm like, this doesn't work for me as a stealth mission. And I literally quit the game and restarted it so that I could play it visually properly. Even though it wasn't affecting the game, it was bothering me. But I thought it was a bug that I didn't get this final costume. And my friend was like, no, after the game, there's one more EMF mission, and then you do it. And I was like, okay. And it makes sense because it's this epilogue, and it's a nice emotional little epilogue. And then you do this simple thing, and then you get the final costume, which is hideous. And I got the trophy, and then I was done. So I am done. And except there's a couple of trophies I think I don't have. I know there's 2. I don't know if there's any more. There's one which is like a combat trophy, I think. So I'm gonna have to see if I can maybe get that by fighting random street crimes. Then there's another where you have to fly from like the financial district all the way over to Astoria, and that's going to be difficult because flying is not my favorite thing. Flying is fun. It's a great way to like get across, you know, web swinging is great, but you can only go down the streets. If you can get up high enough, you can fly over the top of buildings and kind of go diagonally. So I enjoyed the flying to like help me move faster through the city. But Spider-Man is a web swinger. He's not a flyer. So trying to like work the air currents and get the loft and everything to do all of that is probably going to be a little tricky and frustrating. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I may end up having to look for a YouTube walkthrough so I can see which path to take that's easiest. But if there's only 2 trophies left, I kind of want to try to get them because I don't usually platinum games. Because there's usually like a bunch of trophies that I don't get and would have trouble getting. But if I come really close to it, if they're kind of doable, I'm going to try to do them. And then I'm going to be totally done with Spider-Man. I'll take some pictures along the way because I do love photo mode. But I am basically done with Spider-Man. So now I'm like, okay, what do I play next? Do I play Super Mario RPG now? Or do I wait a week and see what the reviews are like for Avatar Frontiers of Pandora? Because I'm really intrigued by that because I love the idea of exploring Pandora. But that's going to be dependent on if the reviews are any good. Because if it comes out and the reviews are like, this is not good, then I'll be like, okay, never mind. But I'm waiting on that. So I'm sort of like, And then there's the other thing of like Christmas is in a few weeks. So I'm like, do I even buy any games in case I get one for Christmas? I don't know. This is the thing. This is my dilemma. So I'm probably just going to stick with Animal Crossing and Disney Dreamlight Valley to like, pass the time. So I don't know. Come back next episode and find out what I decided to do. If I start a new game or not. Or both. I don't know. What can be both. Find out next time. Bye!